Welcome to the tool review channel. Today we're taking a look at the Gardner Bender GESP-70 professional grade stainless steel wire strippers. Now this is a 6-in-1 wire stripping tool, and we'll go over some of those features here. So as you can see here, you have your wire stripping tool right here. You have this black and red rubberized handle right here, which is super comfortable. And then you have your wire crimpers right here. So this would be tool number 1 right here. So you have a coax crimper, you have your 18 to 22 crimper right there, and then you have your 16 to 10 gauge crimper right there. I'm not sure what this is for. It says 30 or 310, 311, 410, 411. Not really sure what that's for, but you have another crimper right there. And then coming up to here, you have a pretty good selection of bolt cutters right here. So you got your 540, you got your 1024, your 440, your 632, your 1032, and your 832 here at the top. So that would be tool number 2. And then up here is your cutting edge, and there's a little warning right here, always wear your safety glasses. I got the Gardner Bender logo right there, and then you have your cutting edge right here, which would be tool number 3. And I believe it is only meant for copper wire and softer wire than that. So copper and aluminum wire. Don't go trying to cut hard steel wire with this because you're going to end up damaging that cutting edge. And then right here, your tool number 4 would be the wire looping tool right here. And then this tool can do your strippers up here, be tool number 5. On the solid, it can go from 8 to 20 gauge solid. And then for stranded, it can go from 10 to 22 gauge stranded right there. Which is nice. And then your final tool up here would be these little pair of pliers there up at the top. And then coming to the back side of this pair of wire strippers, you can see never use on a live circuit. And then, it's pretty much the same as the other side, just has the little warning right there that says obviously never use on a live circuit. It's not insulated, and it's not going to protect you from electrical shocks, so you're going to end up damaging the tool and or hurting yourself if you decide to use this on a live circuit, which I do not recommend. And then obviously you can see, like I said, you got these nice soft grip handles right there, and you got a nice stainless steel finish as well. And I believe you have an adjustment screw, so if your pair of pliers is super stiff, you just got to stick I believe it's an Allen key in there, and you should be able to tighten and or loosen it up. So we're going to go ahead and zoom out here and get to some of the functionality of this tool. So we're going to first start off bringing in an 18 gauge wire, solid wire. So we're going to be using the second hole from the top. So we're going to go ahead and line it up right there. And as you can see right there, it strips that wire, no problem whatsoever. And we'll go ahead and cut that off right there. And we'll go ahead and perform that again. And as you can see, it strips that, no problem whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and set that off to the side, get that little piece of insulation off of there. And we'll move that stuff out of the way. And we'll bring in our 14 gauge stranded wire. And for the stranded wire, it is going to be the third hole from the bottom, and we'll go ahead and insert that guy into there, and we will go ahead and see how well we can strip the wire with that. Just give it a little turn, and as you can see right there, you are able to pull it off. Now I think I went a little deep on there and may have damaged the wire, so we're going to go ahead and cut that off, and we're going to do that one more time. So for the 14 gauge stranded wire, we'll go ahead and line it up with that hole right there. And you just pull it off like that right there, and as you can see, you're able to strip that wire no problem whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and leave that guy off to the side. We're going to come revisit that here in a minute. So now we'll bring in our 12 gauge stranded wire, which is going to be the second hole from the bottom. So we'll go ahead and line that up right there. Cuts that insulation. Just give it a little spin, and then you should be able to pull off that insulation no problem whatsoever. As you can see, I did have to use kind of a bit of a force right there, but I was able to strip off that insulation right there. So go ahead and open up that tool one more time, and we'll cut off that insulation right there. As you can see right there, you are able to cut that insulation off no problem. So go ahead and set that off to the side, and we will we'll get that stuff cleared out of the background here, and we will go ahead and bring in our 10 gauge stranded wire. So that's obviously going to be the very bottom hole, and we'll see how well we can strip this. Spin it around, and you should be able to, as you can see right there, pull off that insulation no problem whatsoever, and test that cutting edge. As you can see right there, you're able to cut through that no problem whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and strip that guy one more time, and as you can see right there, we are able to get that insulation off. I just don't want to damage the wire, so I'll go ahead and pull that rest of that insulation off by hand. But as you can see, you are able to strip some 10 gauge stranded wire right there. Now that we have the 10 gauge stranded wire still in here, we'll bring a little terminal in right here. and we will see how well we can crimp it onto the wire right here. So we'll go ahead and insert that guy in there, and we will be using the 10 to 16 gauge crimp right there, and we'll see how well we can crimp the terminal on. And as you can see, it does a fairly decent job crimping that terminal on. It does move a little bit, but it is a fairly solid crimp, I would say, onto that 10 gauge wire. So go ahead and cut that off so we can use this wire in another video. So go ahead and put that off to the side and get that guy out of here. We'll bring in our 12 gauge stranded wire right here, and we'll put our terminal on there. Now I'm sure it's going to do just the same because we're basically going to be using the same hole right there as well. So we'll go ahead and put that guy on there, crimp down on it, and as you can see right there, it does do a fairly decent crimp on there. It's definitely not coming off. I believe the only part moving is just the plastic, but as you can see, it is crimped on there fairly well. So go ahead and cut that terminal off right there. We'll set that off to the side, and we'll bring our 14 gauge stranded wire in right here, and we will go ahead and grab our little terminal right here, and we will put that on there. And again, it's going to be probably the same job right there. We'll go ahead and use that crimping hole, that same crimping die, and we'll crimp that terminal on right there. And as you can see, definitely not going to be going anywhere anytime soon, and it does apply a nice crimp there as well. So go ahead and cut that off, put that wire off to the side, get that out of there. Now we're going to bring in our last wire right here, which is the 18 gauge solid wire. So go ahead and put a little terminal on there. And now for that one, we're going to be using the crimping die all the way at the bottom, not the coax one, but the last one for the 22 to 16 gauge. We'll go ahead and crimp that guy on there. And as you can see, it does a fairly decent job keeping that guy. Oh, nope, doesn't do that great of a job keeping that wire on, but that could possibly be my fault since I kind of crimped it on an angle. Didn't smash the wire all the way. But as you saw, it did quite a good job crimping all the rest of the wire, and I'm sure that 18 gauge one was my fault. But overall, these are definitely a nice pair of 6-in-1 multi-tool for wire stripping from Gardner Bender. Now you should be able to pick these up anywhere that carries Gardner Bender. I picked these up at my local Menards. And they weren't fairly expensive. I believe they were like $17, $18, something like that. And so if you're looking for an inexpensive pair of wire strippers, definitely could recommend these. They're definitely overall a nice pair of wire strippers for the money that you pay for them. And that's kind of about it. That's kind of all I have for this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you are new to the channel and you would like to see more content like this, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you did enjoy the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. But that's kind of about all I have for this video. So as always, thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next video to be uploaded.